Today I'd like to do a product review on the Motorola T480 rechargeable emergency preparedness two-way Talkabout radio. This one came out this past September as part of Emergency Preparedness Month. In the United States, the month of September is the official Emergency Preparedness Month. I kind of think that all months should be Emergency Preparedness Months, but if you're just going to pick one, September is the official one to do it. I thought this one had some unique features in it compared to some of the other Motorola two-way Talkabout radios, so I thought it'd be a good time to do a product review. So let's get started now with this product review featuring the T480. Now, if you're watching this video right now and you're a ham radio operator, you're probably not going to be as interested in this particular radio. I think this one is designed for users that aren't that interested in getting their ham radio license, just the average type of person that lives in a neighborhood or anything like that. I actually don't think it's really designed for those that are outdoor type users and just want to have a two-way Talkabout radio as they're going hunting, camping, anything like that. This one seems like it's specifically designed to be used in a home type scenario as part of an emergency preparedness feature. So if the power goes out, if the cell goes out, I actually would think that this is probably best designed to be used as kind of like a neighborhood watch radio that a lot of different users could use throughout the neighborhood, and those that aren't interested in getting any kind of ham technician's license, taking the exam for that kind of thing. So this review is going to be based off of that kind of criteria. So just the average user that wants to have a two-way Talkabout radio. Before doing a deep dive into this product review and also going through the test scenarios, let's do a quick rundown of all the features just so we're all on the same page regarding the capabilities of this particular Talkabout radio. So basically we have 22 channels on here. Channels 1 through 7 are going to be your NOAA weather band channels, which give you kind of a weather alerts, any kind of tornado warnings, things like that. And you could set it up to give you alerts, programmable alerts. So if there's something that's approaching that you want to know about, it'll set up an alert for you to notify you of that if you have it in your kitchen, for example. Channels 8 through 14 are going to be your low power channels at 0.5 watt, and channels 15 through 22 are going to be your high power channels at 1.5 watts. So again, you could program those weather alert modes, which is really a handy feature. You also have FM radio on here. So right now we have it in channel mode. If we switch it over here, that's your NOAA weather band channel. And then you could also have it over to FM radio to listen to some nice music, like some jazz over here. I would actually probably prefer if it had AM radio, just because I think you probably get more information in a true emergency situation instead of just listening to music like you can here. But it does sound really nice on FM radio. You also have a built-in flashlight here at the top, right next to the headphone jack. By the way, Motorola has a lot of different accessories that works with their radios. This radio is no exception. Just a lot of capabilities that you could use with this. But you have the headphone jack here. You have the flashlight over there. So you turn it on by using this button here on the top left of the radio. So just turn it on like that. It's a fairly bright flashlight actually. And then over on the side here, we have dual power on here and the push to talk power boost buttons on here. You have a high button over here and a low button. On the bottom over here, this is where you'll see the emergency alert button. So if you have a fleet of these radios, for example, if you're in a neighborhood watch or something like that, you could press the emergency alert button and it'll notify all the radios in your fleet, which is a nice feature. This particular radio is a weatherproof radio, so it's not waterproof. You can't submerge it in water or anything like that, but it's weatherproof. So I think they call it IP54. So basically it's going to take any kind of splashing, rain, things like that, which is a nice feature if you want to use it outside. One of the cool things about it, besides having the nice rubberized grip on the side here to help with the handle, you also are able to charge it through USB micro on the charging port over here, which has I think it has pros and cons, which we'll talk in a little bit more details later. For example, with the older Motorola phones, your Motorola Talkabout radios, you're able to charge it through the charging dock. This one you're going to use the USB micro charging port on here. On the bottom here, you could probably hook a lanyard on the bottom there, and then you have the antenna on the pocket clip over here, and a pretty sturdy pocket clip, and it has an integrated whistle that you can access by blowing right into there. That's going to be your whistle over here, and it has a lithium battery, and you could also put some AA batteries in there. So a lot of different charging capabilities for the Motorola T480. Again, one of the key features of the T480 is that it charges using a USB micro. So you have the USB micro charging port over here. It's covered up with this rubber cover, which helps protect it from weather, although sometimes when it's on there, it's a little tough to get. You have to get your fingernail in there to access that particular port. But a lot of us have that USB micro cable sitting around, especially Android phone users, tablets. You're going to probably have this cable sitting around, so you could charge it using your wall outlet. Also, if you have an external battery like this particular particular anchor that you see here. You could charge it on the go, which is really handy to have. With other Motorola Talkabout radios, you'll have the charging dock where it actually sits in the kind of a dock cradle over here and charges. I kind of wish that this, the T480 also had the charging dock in addition to the charging port. I think that'd be really nice, especially if you're going to have this in your home for its primary, where it's going to be residing at for a large period of time. But the cool feature regarding this particular charging port is that while it's plugged into the port, it's going to be charging, and it could be sitting maybe in your living room, in your kitchen, in your hallway, and as soon as it loses power, for example, if you unplug the cable or if the power just goes out, what's going to happen is that the flashlight is immediately going to turn on, and it's going to assume that it's kind of in some kind of emergency scenario. Maybe the power goes out, something like that, and your house is completely dark. This will immediately start to illuminate with that flashlight over here, so you could see where this particular radio is, and then maybe you could use the radio to call for help or anything like that with maybe your neighbors, people in your neighborhood watch. So that's a really cool feature regarding the USB charging port. Let's quickly go through using the actual radio. So it has nice buttons and knobs throughout. So basically you're going to turn on the volume button here to turn it on. And right now it's in channel mode. You could set it to go to whatever channel you want to have it on. So basically by pressing the mode button that you see here, you're going to switch through the various modes. So here we have NOAA weather band that you see here. And over here we have that FM radio. You could change the station like that. Go back to mode, and it's going to go to channel mode. So we go to menu, and that's when you can start programming it to whatever kind of channel you want to go to. And then you have various options over here. So we're looking through here. There's I think that's the volume level. We have the iVox off. We have level 2 for the battery. All the different standard modes that are going to be common with your other Motorola Talkabout radios. And let's turn that off over there. We can turn this over here to actually do an alert. So you can alert another radio, for example, if this one particular one was turned on. Over here on this top right hand, well, that's when you want to scan through the various channels. So you could scan through here like that. And it's just going to go like that. You could stop it over there. And that's basically how you use that kind of that front panel on here. It has a nice manual with it. Again, you have the push to talk buttons over here, the alert button, and the flashlight button. During my testing of the T480, I've noticed that the output speaker seems to be a little bit quieter than what I'm used to with other Motorola Talkabout radios. So what I want to do for this little segment, we have Kid Prepper over here. He also has a T480, and we're going to be using our decibel reader to measure the decibel reading of the speaker of the T480, and then we're going to compare it with the decibel reading of an older Motorola Talkabout. So you ready?
No.
Not ready? I'll walk him through it so he knows what to do. Go! So based off of my testing, I'm seeing around 6 decibel decrease in the output volume of the T480 Talkabout radio compared to an older Motorola Talkabout. So it's a little bit quieter. So the bottom portion of the Talkabout radio is kind of curved. It's not really designed to do a tail stand like that, although if you have the right surface, you're able to do it. But you do have the space in here if you want to add a lanyard. With the other Motorola Talkabout radios, oftentimes they'll have that curved bottom as well, so that's nothing new. One thing I like about this particular radio is that it has this rubberized side to it, which makes it very easy to grip. It's a very durable, sturdy radio in comparison to the other Motorola ones. It just feels like it's built a lot stronger, although it's bigger, as you can see there too. But having that rubberized grip on the side really helps, I think. So again, the pocket clip has an integrated whistle to it. It's not the loudest whistle in the world, but I guess you could use it if need be. To access the battery in the back over here, again, you have that rechargeable lithium battery in there, but you could also use the AA batteries. You kind of have to use a penny or anything like that to actually access the battery pack on here, which is it's kind of cool in one way that you could use a penny or any kind of coin to open it up, but with some of the other Motorola ones, you're able to just slide it, and it's a lot easier to get into. With this particular one, you have to kind of open it up using other methods. So after taking off that back panel, you see you have multiple methods of providing power to the Talkabout radio. You could use the lithium rechargeable battery that's included with the radio, or you could use 3 AA batteries, and you could use just normal batteries, alkaline batteries, or you could use rechargeable batteries. So as you see, a lot of different methods for providing power to the Talkabout radios. Now let's see how well the radios perform in a residential neighborhood. So I'm going to set up a camera on one of the radios, and then I'm going to travel a block, and we're going to see how well it transmits the data to that radio, and we'll capture both on camera. And I'm going to go a block, up to 1 mile, and then we'll go back from there, and we'll see how well they do. 50 feet away, 50 feet away, low, 50 feet away, high.
50 feet. 50 feet. 1 block away. 1 block away high.
2 blocks away, low. 2 blocks away, high.
2 blocks away. 2 blocks away low. 2 blocks away. 2 blocks away high.
3 blocks away, low. 3 blocks away, high.
3 blocks away low. 3 blocks away high.
0.4 miles. 0.4 miles, high.
4 blocks away high. 4 blocks away high. 0.4 miles. 0.5 miles away, low. 0.5 miles away, high.
0.9 miles, low. 0.9 miles, high. 1 mile away, low. 1 mile away, high. Now let's go over the pros and cons, starting off first with the pro. So the number one pro I would say with this particular Talkabout radio is the build quality on it. It's built extremely well. It's very durable. It's built a lot better, I think, than the previous Motorola Talkabout radios. Just the buttons, you name it, the plastic that's used throughout, it's just a higher grade design to it. So I really like the build quality. I think it could take a beating. It's very intuitive layout on all the buttons and everything. You don't really even need to look at the manual. I think anyone could really figure out how to use this with just a little trial and error. I like that it's weatherproof, so it could take a little splashing from rain. I like the built-in LED on here. Normally I don't really like built-in LEDs to various products, but this one is actually fairly bright, I think, so I really like that. I like that it turns on when the power goes out. I think that's a really nice feature on there. It's just really cool. I like that the NOAA weatherband radio sounds really good on here. It's very clear during my testing on it.
Seattle, serving the greater Puget Sound area.
On some of my other radios, it's not that clear. It's a little staticky. I like that the push-to-talk power boost, that you have a power boost on here to increase the transmission power, and you could go back to low transmission to conserve battery power when needed. The Talkabout features has many accessories on here with Motorola, whether it be cases, headsets, cables, chargers, mics, etc. Just a lot of capabilities with accessories with this particular radio. The USB micro port is a nice feature on here, just because there's a lot of different methods that you could then use for charging this particular radio, although I do wish that it had a power dock on there as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later. I think when the connection works, that the voice is very clear on here. I like that you're able to use 3 AA batteries if needed, and the rubberized surface on the side is a nice feature. Now let's go over the cons of the T480 in no particular order. So the first con that I have listed, I think the volume is too quiet on this particular radio, especially when you compare it with other Motorola Talkabout radios. It's just quieter than the other ones, as we saw in that test scenario. I think that it has a limited range in a neighborhood environment, and this is kind of designed as an emergency preparedness radio, I think more for a neighborhood home type use. And so in my testing, I'm seeing around maybe a range of 0.5 to 0.7 miles in a neighborhood environment before you start, the sound starts breaking up very bad. On the packaging, they kind of, list that out. They're very honest in the packaging. They say a maximum distance of 35 miles if you're talking between two mountain peaks, which most people aren't. Maybe several miles if you're between on water, for example. So on a body of water, you're able to get a little bit better range on here. But in a neighborhood environment, you're talking about maybe less than a mile. And they're pretty honest on the packaging on here. But that's just kind of a limitation of a Talkabout radio. I think the battery life isn't what I was hoping that it would be. I think it lasts around maybe 10 hours or so, and I think the charger takes about 24 hours to get to 100%, so it's kind of a short battery life. So I don't think it's really the kind of radio that you'd want to have if you're out in the woods. I'd probably go with the other Talkabout radio that has a longer battery life. This one, again, I think is designed for home use, to always be on that charging dock, maybe in the hallway or something like that. I wish that, speaking of the USB micro, I do like that you have that USB micro charging capabilities, but it's at the cost of having a cradle charging, which I think would be a nice feature on here. I think it's priced pretty high, the price on here, and you're only really getting one Talkabout radio. You're not getting two when you order one. So I forgot to mention that right off the bat. Basically, when you order this, you're only getting one radio on here instead of two. With most other Motorola's, you're getting a kind of a set of radios, maybe a little less quality on them than you're seeing on here, but you are getting two of them. With this one, you're just getting one, so everyone will kind of have to stock up on one if they're part of your fleet. I think it has a large charge time compared to usage time. I think the USB charging port right here, it's a little hard to open. It's kind of a little flimsy too. I think that could rip off after a while. And you don't have that base for the charging. I kind of wish that it had AM radio instead of the FM radio. I found the choice to neglect the inclusion of AM kind of a little bit weird. I think in an FM, in an emergency scenario, you're not going to want to be listening to music. I don't think you're probably going to want to be listening to the AM radio station. So I think for the radio needs to be kind of close to the mouth to be able to talk and to be able to hear the other person for effective communication. A little closer than what I'm used to with other Talkabout radios from Motorola. I think the case it's a little large, so if you want something that fits in your pocket, this probably isn't it. This is going to have to sit outside of your pocket using the pocket clip. And I think that the icons on the display are a little bit tiny to read. Like for example, my father-in-law would have a hard time reading this. I have better eyes than him, but they're a little small. I think they could probably be a little bit larger. And that's all I have listed for the cons of the Motorola T480. As a bonus, let's do a quick little flash giveaway contest for these Motorola T480s. So I'm going to be giving both of these away. Again, we're talking about a $60 value. So in the last giveaway contest, we did it all in the YouTube comment section. For this particular one, let's use some of the social media sites. So for this giveaway contest, using either Twitter or Instagram, all I want you to do is, for contest entry, is to take a photo of a neighborhood watch sign in your area. You've probably seen some of them, and then all you have to do is just take a photo of that, put it on either your Instagram or your Twitter or both, and use the hashtag Motorola T480. The first one to post a photo of a neighborhood watch sign will win the Motorola T480, the first one over here, and then the second one will be given away at random after 72 hours of the posting of this video. Again, just take a photo of a neighborhood watch sign and use the hashtag Motorola T480 either on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll be giving away you one of these radios. So if you don't have an Instagram or Twitter, I'll try to hit you up on the next contest. I have a lot of contests planned out, and so we'll just get you on that one. So this particular one is going to be either on Instagram or Twitter. Take a photo of a neighborhood watch sign and use the hashtag Motorola T480, and you could win one of these. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this product review featuring the Motorola T480 Talkabout Rechargeable Emergency Preparedness Two-Way Radio. Please leave your comments below in the comment section regarding this particular video, what you think of this radio. I've also left some information in the description box below that gives you more information regarding this radio, and then also for the giveaway contest details. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video featuring the Motorola T480. See you guys next time.